Bonjour à tous, bienvenue pour le deuxième épisode. C'est en train de charger. Voilà, attention. Ok, le deuxième épisode de, de, de Forgotten City, la cité oubliée. Et donc, on va voir ce qu'il y a là-bas. Alors moi, j'enchaîne. Enfin, j'ai fait une petite pause et tout, mais j'enchaîne. Donc, on a découvert le jeu, et puis qu'est-ce qui se passe? Ah, l'archer.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is?
Je ne la
I'm not
connais
sure
pas.
I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quinctius for terrible crimes against the Empire. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, I will put this arrow through your chest. Is that understood?
Là, il m'aurait bien fallu le pistolet quand même.
You are not off to
Je
a
ne
good
mentais pas.
start. When I ask you a question, I expect an answer. Is that understood?
C'est compris.
Thank you. Now tell me, who are you people, and what is this place? A small community. Ha! I was told Quinctius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult.
Qu'est-ce
Oh,
qu'il
don't play coy with me. I don't care if you're worshipping Bacchus, Magna Mater, or Christ. You lot are all the same to me. Always sneaking off to your secret sanctuaries, indoctrinating each other with your little mantras. The Emperor may have tolerated your activities up until now, but
Je sais
after
pas c'est
what
qui
Quinctius
Quinctius.
did, those days are numbered. You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this place a secret?
On est tous
So you
prisonniers.
admit you're not allowed to leave.
Il est physiquement
Threatening
impossible de
me is
sortir.
not going to help you. But in any case, that sounds an awful lot like a cult to me. And I saw the inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take it this is some kind of mantra you all believe? A distinction without a difference. You've clearly been indoctrinated into this nonsense. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make all these statues?
C'était des gens.
You lot are practicing human sacrifice too.
Oh, casse les
Disgusting.
couilles, lui. Bah oui, tu
If
déformes mes
not,
propos.
because I'm the real villain here. It's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, the indoctrination, the
Je veux
mantras,
bien
the
m'avoir
human
le pistolet, là.
sacrifice. You're cultists. There's no doubt in my mind. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such zeal. They just can't see what they've become. However, you still have a chance to redeem
Je sais pas
yourself
c'est qui,
by
putain.
telling me where Quinctius is. Do not waste it. Very well. Here's what I know. He's a 40 to 50-year-old man with distinctive eyes, one green
C'est le
and
mec
one
qui m'a
blue.
accueilli.
He's also known to have delusions of grandeur. The Emperor says he and his cult, your cult, are responsible for starting the fire which burnt half of Rome to the ground and killed thousands in the process.
On va utiliser ça, je pense. L'empereur cherchait
Who
peut-être.
are you to challenge what the Emperor says? Are you there? Do you have spies and scouts all over Rome like he does? No, you do not. This is your last chance. Are you going to tell me where he is or not? Then you're of no use to me. Do you have any last words? And And there's a simple explanation for that. I lied. But if you want to know the truth before you die, here it is. Once I'm done with you and Quintius, I intend to kill every last one of you wretched degenerates. And I can think of nothing I'd enjoy more.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Alors, remonter le temps. J'ai eu trop peur. J'ai eu... je sais pas ce qui s'est passé. Ah putain. Excusez-moi pour ça, je savais pas ce qui allait se passer. Du coup, on va essayer de refaire tout ce qui exactement ce qui s'est passé.
I'm not sure. So, is that
Euh, j'ai dit ça. Là, j'avais dit c'est compris. J'avais dit ça. J'avais dit ça. J'avais dit ça. Nous sommes prisonniers. Il est physiquement impossible. L'avertissement. Vous déformez mes propos. Que pouvez-vous me dire? Alors, prêt à chercher un bouc émissaire. Je ne sais pas. Vous avez dit que vous m'épargnerez.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Il faut que je suive. Il est là-bas. Je sais pas où il est, le magistrat. C'est par où on est apparu là. Donc là, on va remonter le temps. Alors, a priori, ce que j'ai vu, c'est que le jeu est très rapide. Il dure 4 heures. On va sauvegarder.
Salve, friend.
Je m'appelle Vice, nous avons déjà eu cette discussion.
I don't think so. Oh, I guess how much. Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this device I made.
C'est quoi cette merde?
Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, it'll be faster than walking. And if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take it. But don't worry.
Ok. Il m'a donné une tyrolienne. Il y a un truc là. Comment je fais pour... Je suis toujours pas allé le voir. Comment je fais pour l'utiliser? Ok. Comment je fais pour l'utiliser? Ok, je peux pas utiliser dans l'autre sens. Ok.
Don't you just love springtime?
J'aimerais bien aller voir le magistrat comme je l'avais pas vu la dernière fois. Est-ce qu'il est là le magistrat? Comment je fais pour descendre?
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Dire ton putain de truc. Je voulais pas voler, je voulais juste descendre. Oh là là. Je respawn où? Oh non, t'es sérieux? Ah non, c'est bon. On va repasser.
Oh,
Ok, en fait, on va respawn.
all right.
J'aimerais bien aller... aller je sais pas où. Bah, elle était pas là, elle, tout à l'heure.
Ah, you're here. I'm so glad you decided to visit. I'm Aurelia, and I hope I'm not being too forward, but the moment I laid eyes on you, I was intrigued. There's a light in your eyes I've never seen before. A certain learning and sophistication.
Vous êtes aussi charmante que
Coming
belle.
on a bit strong, don't you think?
Ouais, moi je veux la gérer.
I take back what I said. Suddenly, I don't find you so intriguing anymore. Let's just forget that ever happened, so we can at least do business. So, what brings you to
Get
me?
rejected. Quelle est votre histoire?
Let it go. Nothing's going to happen
Putain,
between
faut que je
us.
respawn là pour la gérer.
You know, normally, I'd
Faut que
expect
je la
you to
recale
buy
en
me a
fait.
drink before asking if I want to get out of here. I guess that went right over your head.
Putain,
Never
la
mind.
dalle, hein.
As a matter of fact, I do know a way out. I'm happy to tell you all about it, but this is valuable information we're talking about, and I don't just give it out like some cheap oracle. So, how badly do you want it? Is it worth, say, 1,000 denarii to you? I think of it this way. I have something of value, and I'm willing to share it for a price. That's not unethical. That's just good business. Now, do you want it or not?
Dites-moi
I
en
can't
plus.
tell you too much, or you'd figure it out for yourself. But I promise you, you'll never have to spend another hour in this city ever again. Simple. It's a one-way trip, and I'm not ready to go just yet. I like my life here. One day, maybe, but not now.
Comment
If
savoir
I
si c'est
took
pas
your
une
money
arnaque?
without giving you what I promised, I'd be breaking the golden rule, wouldn't I? And I have no interest in doing that.
Cela ne
What's the
m'intéresse pas.
matter? Can't afford it? Well, perhaps you could take out a loan. I understand Malleolus has lent money to others, on occasion.
Je pensais où de la
Just try
récupérer.
not to think about it. Drink helps with that. As the saying goes, to drink is human, so we drink.
Vous avez entendu des
Certainly,
magots?
for 10 denarii. Have
Allez.
you met Livia? She used to do my hair until one day she just snapped. This place has that effect on people. Now she just stands around, caked in filth,
Ouais, c'est
muttering
la
nonsense
meuf
to
qui est
herself.
morte effondrée. Là.
It's a real shame. Now I have to do my own hair. I hear that if Malleolus is elected, he's gonna throw a small festival to celebrate, with entertainment and everything. Can't wait to find out what it is. Whatever you...
Ça va se lever.
All right.
Toi, t'écris.
Just as the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this
Quel
place
quel-
accepts all the souls. But it does not notice the crowds that come.
quel-
Bloodless shadows
Ah, elle va me
walk up
saouler.
the house of the ruler.
Comprends rien.
There is only a downward path. Gloom.
Et où
Help
de-
me. It is better for you if you the bloodless. The
Bon,
new
elle fait que de parler en... Pardon. Oh, les arènes de Vérone, j'y suis allé. Il faut rien voler. Hein. J'ai 600 pièces. En vrai... En vrai, je pourrais acheter sans faire son prêt. La clé du coffre du sanctuaire de Paul. Oui, ça c'est pas un vol. Ça doit être la vieille, ça. Quel enculé, ici. Incroyable. Putain, la chance. 4 femmes. Vous vous rendez compte? Incroyable. 4 femmes. Donc déjà, j'ai la clé du coffre d'Apollon. Ah, je m'en souviens, cet endroit. Est-ce que ça, il craint cet endroit quand même? Non, attends, mais dis pas que... Putain, les trucs, je les ai en triple et tout. Ah non, en fait, je respawn et... En gros, je respawn et l'argent est là, quoi. Ouais, là, c'est la sortie, il me faut quelque chose pour fuir. C'est bon à savoir, il suffit que je respawn 3 fois pour... Pardon. Ok, bon, ce cas
Thunderous lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia, would you stop muttering like
C'est
a deer
Livia.
over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades, imitating their previous lives.
Ok, je sais toujours pas où il est le magistrat. La maison en contrebas. Ça m'emmène au même endroit, je pense. Là, c'est d'où je viens. Ok. À gauche, il y a je sais pas quoi. Il y a la taverne. je l'avais vu. Putain, mais il y a des trucs là. Ça veut dire quelque chose. Les papillons, ils sont aussi à l'endroit pour s'enfuir. Une grille. Plus à tuer Sentinelle. Je comprends pas tout. Hein. Je sais pas s'il y a un truc à faire là. Ah mais attends, c'était ici que ouais, qu'il y avait un truc, non? Là, je suis à 800. J'ai l'impression que je vais retourner au même endroit.
Hello? Hello?
C'est déjà rencontré, ok. Là, on n'a rien à refaire. J'ai une question. Du coup, ici, est-ce qu'il y a le mec?
Help! You have to do something.
Est-ce que je vais pouvoir la sauver?
You have to do.
Une idée de qui menace Vergil.
Are you going to help?
Cela rendra la nouvelle quête prioritaire. En quoi cela me concerne? Simplement sans peu de chance.
The shrine is collapsing.
Ouais, c'est terrible. Hein.
Wonder how much one of these statues is worth on the outside. Salve, stranger.
Ok.
Very well.
Je pouvais pas la sauver.
I can't believe she's dead. Fabi, I mean. The gods are cruel and unjust. I can't believe the gods.
Pas la sauver. Parce que j'ai pas envie de retourner là-bas en fait, parce que je vais retrouver le type. Il faudrait que je batte. Ah bah toi t'es nouveau non? T'es pas la dernière fois. Tu sors d'où?
Name's Rufius. Better watch your step.
Qui es-tu?
Talk long. Got to stay sharp, but families from Solution and Tigris. Babylon province.
Pourquoi portez-vous votre armure?
Grave danger.
Nous sommes en danger. Pourquoi t'as pas d'arme?
Magistrate made me.
Comment avez-vous arrêté ici? Vous n'êtes pas causant. Quel est votre problème?
None of your business. In Troiti, it's some coming true. If we
Connaissez-vous un moyen de sortir ici? Que pensez-vous de la règle d'or?
tell you this much.
J'ai survécu à une pandémie. Il parle du Covid?
I mean, all these people just bumble along like nothing's wrong. Well, we're what? Seems like I'm the only one ready for what's coming.
Qu'est-ce qui
I
arrive?
don't know. But did you ever get the feeling some of these statues are watching us when we're not looking? Like they're waiting for something. I don't like it.
Je pense que vous avez
Yes,
raison.
I am. Whatever.
Ok. C'est pas là qu'il est le magistrat? T'as vu la gueule de la porte? Et là, il y a quoi? Bah toi, t'es nouveau aussi. Elle est jolie.
The great temple majestic.
Ouais, clairement. Qui es-tu?
A new face. Our Vesta watch over
Equitia,
you?
ça me parle,
I am
Equitia.
Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?
Quelle est votre histoire?
Oh my. I take it people are quite direct where you... I suppose it's quite charming. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality.
C'est une Vestale.
The proper approach would be to arrange an introduction, and then you would find a way. But to be honest, I've often thought what an unnecessary. Let's do it
Putain, mais
your
elle peut
way.
pécho elle
You
aussi.
just keep being.
Qu'est-ce qu'une
You
Vestale?
really don't know? You are from far away, aren't you? I am one of the priestesses, charged with keeping...
Vous connaissez Vesta?
Vesta is the mother goddess of hearth and home, and the guardian of the Roman people.
Que
Put
faites-vous ici?
simply, I tend to the temples, ensure their sanctity is preserved.
Pourquoi?
Why? So that we continue to honor our gods, invite their blessings, and not bring their wrath down upon us, of course. It's vital that we keep them appeased and remain in their good graces.
Comment avez-vous atterri
Then,
ici?
I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here?
Une jeune femme.
Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you.
Je crois que je vois où vous allez en venir.
Well then, have you spoken with any of the others about how they arrived here too? I really think you should. Go around and ask.
Vous montrez,
I
vas-y.
know. I just don't want to see what happened.
J'ai trouvé un fil conducteur.
Then what is it?
Rencontre avec une personne inconnue sur la rive.
I also had such an encounter. What else? There are definitely some common threads
Okay.
there. But I think we'll need at least a few to ensure we're not... Keep asking people how they wound up here. Livia's fate, Wade...
Connaissez-vous le moyen de sortir ici? Aucun. Ok.
I'm quite
La
sure
règle
it's the
d'or,
word
une
of the
invention des
gods,
dieux.
which is strange, but we asked for bless... But here, I find myself reminded... Would you like to hear...
Allez, elle va faire son poème.
It goes like this. Baucis and
Je vais un
Philemon
peu vite
were
les gars
an
parce que
ordinary
j'ai
couple
beaucoup de dialogue quand même
living
et
life
bon
in a
voilà
small
quoi.
town. One night, the town gets a visit
Là
from
le
a
poème
couple
on va lui
who
laisser
lives-
raconter sa vie.
They go from door to door, asking for a place to stay the night. Of course, being vagrants, they're turned away sharply from house after house, 1,000 in all, until finally they come to the little cottage where Baucis and Philemon lived. Now the kind old couple had very little to offer, but nevertheless, they invite these strangers into their house and offer them food, wine, and a place to stay. Immediately the guests make themselves at home. They begin gulping down the old couple's wine, so much so that Baucis, the old lady, begins to worry they're going to run out. And then she notices something strange. Her wine pitcher keeps refilling itself, as if by magic. Realizing only a select few possess such powers, says to her husband, Philemon, I think these men are gods in disguise. Immediately the couple begins apologizing for offering such coarse wine, and the vagrants metamorphosize
Ouais.
and reveal themselves to be Jupiter, the king of the gods, and Mercury, the trickster god. They confide they didn't mind the meager offerings. They were just pleased that someone in the town offered them hospitality. Then Jupiter says to them, you have passed our test, but everyone else in this city failed, so we are going to destroy this place and everyone in it, except you, who we will grant a wish. So old Baucis and Philemon escape up into the mountains safely, and they receive their wish, which is for eternity together. Meanwhile, Jupiter carries through with his threat and wipes that city off the map. Some say the moral of that story is that we must all honor the sacred rituals of guest friendship, the reciprocal obligations owed between hosts and guests. But I like to think it's that we should always show compassion for those less fortunate than ourselves.
Excellent ça.
A cynic philosopher might take that view, but it's not entirely invalid, I suppose. And did you notice? Keep
Ok, faut que je continue à demander aux gens. Alors, trois trucs. La règle d'or, faut que je revoie le magistrat, ça c'est le truc principal, je pense. Ça, c'est le truc. La citaine, la clé de Dully. Il faut que je fasse libérer le type. Vergile. Tenir un arc. Sentinelle. Je sais pas pourquoi. Fait un œil doré. Bon, on va aller voir là, ce qui me disait que c'était une maison en contrebas, c'est peut-être celle-là. Il y a un mec qui fait des ponts. Oui. Il y a plein de gens. Hein.
Malleolus isn't receiving visitors at the moment, it being election day.
Quelle est votre
Name's
histoire?
Domitius.
Pourquoi devenais-tu comme un gladiateur? Vous n'êtes pas près
You
de
wanna
l'âme.
see me fight? When Malleolus wins the election, yeah, this place will change. I think it's gone on long enough, and Malleolus
Je vous ai
already
dit.
lined up the votes.
Quelle est
Malleolus, of course. Too bad. I'm glad you asked.
C'est
See,
un homme
he's
occupé.
a busy man. Left me strict instructions he doesn't want to be disturbed. So if you want to see it,
Que voulez-vous? Sans
what's
donner.
in Coolio Mio? Just make it good. Make up at Murday. Just make it. Just make it. Whatever.
Il y a un cadeau pour que je puisse parler au type. Il y en avait un autre là, non? J'ai spawn où moi? J'ai spawn là-bas. Ah.
Are they?
Ah bah voilà, le magistrat.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name?
Je m'appelle
A
Vince.
curious name to match a
Tu aurais dû m'appeler
curious
Santus.
accent. But I digress. I see you have the piercing and astute eyes of Athena.
Je suis meuf?
You must be a woman of great learning. We're always happy to welcome another scholar to
Quand je suis une meuf?
community. Equitea will be delighted to meet you, I'm
C'était
sure.
ça le...
Now,
Une personne grosse, une personne pas
why I
grosse?
summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you? A secret city.
Putain, je suis une meuf, les gars.
Many hundreds of years ago.
Fais chier, mais je voulais pécho toutes les meufs. Je veux.
Indeed.
C'est magnifique.
More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months. 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, living and working together in our own little paradise. And in all that time, not a single sin has been committed.
Bah, j'ai quand même vu un mec me tirer dessus à l'arc.
Nor could I, but the reason for this, if even one person commits a sin here, every last one of... You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, from what we can gather, and provoke a terrible punishment. Like the curses of Medusa and Venus combined. It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have. And now it seems that all that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the golden rule. Why else? Unless you and... I know that's a lot to take.
Que voulez-vous dire?
You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. It's said to open a doorway in time, so that if the unthinkable happens,
ça je confirme que je peux le faire.
Pass through it and travel back. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the god,
J'ai 2000 ans.
2000 years? That is unfathomable. Please tell me, in your time, what did you see? What had become of us, of this city? I have imagined it, our downfall, 1,000 times, but it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it.
Qu'est-ce qui est considéré comme péché?
There was of course, everyone agrees on the basics.
Voler, agresser et
Beyond
tuer.
that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus.
Mensonge, insulte.
What about lying? As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and we must honor the. It is only by offering the god.
Et nombre de Vaudois et traditions sont considérés comme barbares.
Barbaric? What are you talking about? Rome is a beacon of light in the. We have comprehensive laws protecting the. All our citizens are treated the same. When our people are starving, they are given food rations. And when they are wronged, our laws forbid treason, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arms. No other civilization in the world is so advanced, and you have the hubris to call us.
Dit comme ça.
Of course, but with fewer rights come fewer responsibilities. And the right to be protected by their fathers and husbands.
C'est vrai qu'au final, c'est vraiment une question de point de vue.
Of course. What else would we do with those prisoners of war who would otherwise have been executed? And besides, there are laws for their protection as well. On occasion, but our gladiators are almost all volunteers seeking glory, or condemned prisoners who would have been executed anyway. I do not see the harm. You mean the blasphemous cult responsible for burning down half of... Are you talking about our practice of decimation? Of course. We could hardly unite all these warring tribes without a disciplined, formidable legion. Well, right now, I have made... Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist. I would be keeping...
Comment le rituel
All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, in this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. I don't suppose you saw any sign of me in the future? I assume that was me.
Ah, c'était à l'entrée du portail, il y avait des restes humains.
It's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't need to use it, won't you?
Je ferai de mon mieux. Pourquoi ne pouvez-vous pas mener l'enquête?
For me, well, it pains me to say, the people here would only treat my curiosity with suspicion.
Soupçonnez-vous?
Whoever stare at a problem, what's needed here is a...
Ok. Dites-moi le vrai fond de votre pensée.
All right. There are those who wish to vote me out of, frankly, their selfishness and
Égoïste, c'est ceux qui veulent prendre sa place.
If I understand Proserpina's ritual correctly, that problem, if you manage to prevent the sin that breaks the golden rule, I won't need to bring you here. Thus, you'll have created a paradox. If this occurs... Ah, good. So, wonderful. Now, I need you to... I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and figure out who the culprit is. And as soon as you have an... Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia. I heard wait... Ah, you've returned.
Bah ouais, l'assassin. Est-ce que tu peux libérer Fury?
Perhaps you're not aware he was... Look, I can see where you're going with this. You think me... It was not so long ago, during... Here, April, the man has... I will...
Quelle est votre histoire?
Sentius Imperiosus. Before I wound up here, I was a...
Qu'est-ce qu'un
cavalry officer. I had 30 men...
Pourquoi la
As
porte est
magistrate, I usually wear a toga, but today I may need to survive long enough to create. My men and I were at the Emporium in Rome as honor guard for it. Now the port is usually bustling, but just as our guests arrived, they were trying to escape a terror. The next thing I knew, I was waking. I went looking for my horse. I was elected 7 months ago, uncontested because of my... They're supposed to be annual, but I agreed. Unfortunately, it just seemed very well.
Ok.
Of course. Are you sure you've spent... It looks like you'll have to continue. Ask them. Good.
Ok.
If I did, I'd have led these people. I've had plenty of... I've always considered my guiding... Our survival and prosperity have always hinged upon... Give the gods what they want and we all prosper. The real enemy in this place is not the god... I trust... Thank you.
Ok. Pourquoi il veut pas libérer l'autre type là?
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you?
Arve.
Où en est l'élection?
It'll be between cent. Why do you? I like the idea, but I know Galera. It was only yesterday that he said to me he'd own. So, I suppose if you'd like.
Changeons de sujet.
And did you?
Mentionne une rivière.
I understand many of. What else?
Des trous de mémoire.
It's as I feared. I think I. You mentioned earlier.
Carré.
I see.
Capuche.
Because I've seen her before. There's something I think. What? How could you know? Please go and stop him and.
Putain, trop de trucs à faire.
What are you doing in here? She needs the resin of a plant called Sylphium, but that Culus cubulatus decius. It's too late. She was poisoned. She came in here frothing, and I knew Decius had some at his market stall. Right at that'll be 1,000 denarii. Then that toad shrugs and says, anywhere else I'd just pay a thug to steal. So all I could do is come back, and now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without... Well, unless you have the power, get me that Sylphium resin. I'm going to have another patient. I don't care how you get it. I swear to the gods be...
Ok.
I'm Lucretia, and I'm going to be straight.
Trop de trucs, les gars, je commence à être perdu.
This is Nevia's clinic. I'm tired and out of my depth.
Il y a trop de
My
trucs.
husband and I moved to Rome from... I would have divorced him and him. So I waited as he prepared to... If I could barely see for the smoke. The next thing I remember... It's alright. And while there's no shot... Oh, this shrine was in kind of strange to set up, but the god who inflicts a curse is also the... Well, she used to run the clinic until she suddenly lost all interest in her. This changes everything. The last time I saw her, and then she shut herself in the palace. She's been gone so long now. We figure she's out, but I really wish I could reach her, because that's the only... One of my patients is suffering from... I really shouldn't say. He's become so irritable that the smallest thing said... I just know Nevia would know how to treat him, assuming she's still alive. Really?
Ouais, c'est ça.
Ah, terrible shame what happened to... Certainly. All right. Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand. Hear what? You sure you're feeling all right? She claimed the statue was a whispering to her. Nobody else could hear it, but I digress. That's hardly my concern. But if you...
5 ans.
Well, if you did that, you'd break the golden...
Est-ce que vous voulez, c'est
Do
pas
you
cadeau.
think I don't know... Very well. Perhaps I can interest you in something... Malleolus.
Qui allez-vous voter?
Incentius can... Very well.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Ok. Par où tu passes, garçon? Ah, c'est ça en fait. C'est... Il y a trop de quêtes à faire en fait. J'ai l'impression qu'il y a plein de moyens d'aller au bout en fait. Donc là j'ai respawn. Est-ce qu'il va encore me raconter sa vie lui? Je vais mentir.
Oh, is that right? Can't have you But listen, you see, live. All right, friend.
Je commence à connaître le lieu. Putain, je suis vraiment une meuf, les gars. Fait chier, quoi.
Greetings and salutations.
Donc là, normalement, on va pouvoir la sauver. Tiens.
What are you doing? She needs the res. What? Yulia? You... Hopefully in a moment. That was extraordinary. How did you know she needed this
Incroyable.
exact thing? And at this...
J'ai cherché un
How
remède.
did you know she needed this exact medicine? You just saved a person's life. And you should be proud of yourself. And maybe she can tell us who put in the meantime.
Connaissez-vous un moyen de sortir ici? Non, blablabla, la règle d'or. Blablabla. Julia.
What do you want?
C'est où qu'elle a été
Do you
empoisonnée?
really want to know? I mean, if somebody poisoned her.
Je t'arrête pas.
No. Sorry, I don't mean. There was one other, but that was.
Ouais, bien. Dites-moi.
Well, until she the last, and then she's been. But one of. He's become so irritable. I just. Thanks. That's a shame.
Tu peux me parler ou pas encore? Non. En fait, à chaque fois, on peut respawn, quoi. Ouais, ok. Non, elle va encore mourir, elle.
None of us do. You just have.
N'entrez pas là-dedans. Faites-moi confiance.
All right.
Si moi j'y vais, est-ce que je meurs? Oh putain. Oh non les gars, j'ai pas sauvegardé depuis je sais pas combien de temps. Non, 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 non. Ok. Ouf, putain. Ouf, il y a quand même des sauvegardes automatiques. Ah, sa grand-mère, j'ai peur. Oh putain. Ah, ça m'aurait saoulé là. Pas encore. Il faut que je l'arrête. Je sais pas comment l'arrêter, j'ai pas d'arme encore. Tu t'es réveillé toujours pas. Ah, tu t'es réveillé. Julia, arrête de pleurer.
Oh, was there something
Qu'est-ce qui
as
t'est
much
arrivé?
as I'm grateful that you
Je veux
the
ça.
golden rule.
Malolu, c'est Claudia.
Please.
Je ne vous aiderai pas, moi que.
Persist. All right. I'd been here about a week.
J'allais te coincer le
When
restant
it dawned on me,
du
so
séjour.
when my new friend Aurelia
Aurélia,
offered me a secret way out, she
1000
was
deniers.
supposed to be my friend, so she suggested I take
Elle a
out
fait
a loan
l'emprunt.
from
Ah, mais c'est ce qu'elle
Malleolus.
m'a demandé, la meuf, non?
And I'm not proud of it, but yes, I had to sign an agreement
30
saying
ans.
I'd work off the debt. I paid Aurelia. Hemlock.
Sigu, se suicider.
It's a deadly poison. Drink this, she said. And she pointed to a sign on her tavern. She immediately told Malleolus in fact, he just... Of course, I went to Sentius and begged for help, but he said the law. I thought about resisting too, but he locked me in his villa. Confiscated everything His wife, Claudia, was just as bad. I'd be on my hands and knees, scrubbing those two took everything. My hemlock. I just wanted it to be over. Don't you think I brought it on myself?
Ok. Que
When
vous
I've
arriver?
recovered, I expect their thug Domitia. Only this time, I won't be. Honestly, it would have. I
Que
doubt
puis-je faire
it.
pour vous aider?
At least until someone breaks. A
Ouais,
lot.
sur votre liberté.
He's in exactly the same position as I am. He's probably already thrown him. If so, I doubt you could make it. I don't know who you are. All right. You
Quelle
mean my life
histoire.
story? Our father found good husbands for my sisters. It was a good life for a while. We must have had 100 workers passing, but they fell on deaf ears. My employer told me to grab what valuable.
Alors les gars,
I
je suis
remember
désolé de
diving
passer
into
aussi
the
vite.
river
Je vais
and
très
then
vite.
the next thing.
Je sais pas si il y a pas de souci pour vous, mais voilà. En tout cas, moi, sinon ça va beaucoup trop
If
lentement.
that's your idea of a joke, it's not.
Ah oui, merde. Pardon. Ok, on va s'arrêter là. On va juste regarder la prochaine quête. Mais c'est pas des mains de meuf, ça. Ouais, enfin, c'est des mains normales, quoi. Là, y a rien. Là, y a rien. Tenir un arc, celui qu'il y a là. Je sais pas pourquoi j'ai pas en fait. Ouais, le coffre dans la clinique.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Il est où le coffre? Il n'y a pas de coffre ici, frérot. D'accord. Le remède contre le rhumatisme.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Lucrétia, je sais pas où elle est. En fait, j'arrive pas à la suivre, cette putain de quête. C'est ça que je dois faire. Voilà. Ah bah voilà. Ok. On va s'arrêter là. On a quand même bien avancé. J'ai plein de petites quêtes à faire, en fait, qui sont très intéressantes. Donc, eh ben, écoutez, je vous propose de s'arrêter là. Et puis, on se retrouve très vite dans le prochain épisode. Salut à tous. Alors, je vais sauvegarder. Sauvegarde. On attend. Ok. Salut.